Hi, I'm Millie. I'm autistic and an ADHDer, and if you're new to the channel, I'm make videos about my life as a neurodivergent person. This one's going to be a little different. I'm doing one of the things I'm afraid of and just trying to record this with no script or anything. So if it goes totally off the rails and you don't want to watch, I totally understand. When I initially made this channel, my intention was to show what it's really like to have a neurodivergent style of communication. And it's always never really real on video for many reasons, because of edits and pressure and just selecting a time when it's, I feel okay to talk or can talk or anything like that. And, but right now I'm just in one of the biggest transitionary periods in a long time, in years, and I'm gonna have to pack my camera away soon, so I just wanted to record something quick before I go. And it was my 40th birthday recently, so I just have all these thoughts about my 30s and how, despite it being so rough, like, a lot of my life has been painful, to be honest, but I'm surprisingly, I don't know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited about my 40s, and I hear from a lot of people that 40s is a good time. Depends on how your life has been, but yeah, I want to talk a bit about my 30s because that's so relevant to this channel, because my 30s is when just all my figuring out, like, it's a lifelong process, but so all of my major diagnoses happened in my 30s and everything. And I just wanted to make this as well for people, if you're younger or at any stage, and not even to say like it gets better, because often things just get worse or they get better and get worse, and they're terrible for a while and then they're good for a while. But what I'll show that I've learned is that, at the very least, I've figured out what I need. Like, I know at least now the things I need and want, and more how to take care of myself. And so that going into my 40s kind of makes me hopeful. So I wanted to talk about what happened leading up to this point very briefly. I have a timer set for 7 more minutes. So if the video is longer than 10 minutes in total, you'll know I succeeded or not. So in my 20s, it was kind of like, other people might experience this too. Like I kind of inherit my parents' dream a little bit, or like the previous generation of like supposed to, so I'm a millennial, and this happened a lot with millennials too. Like, we're kind of this last generation of still believing, and now this dream is shattered, believing that we're gonna just go to school and buy a house and get married. And I did so many things early. Like, I was engaged when I was 19, which seems wild now. And I did all these things so early. And I think that is part of autism too. Like, I so didn't know myself. I was just trying to do everything that I thought like a normal person should be doing. And, at the time I was like, thought I was cis and straight and neurotypical. Like, I didn't actually think those things, and deep down I knew there was something going on, but like externally, that's what I was projecting. And yeah, 20s is the shattering of those kind of things and going out on my own. And I want to make a video about, like, that's when I got into a lot of heavy drug use and stuff, because I just realized I couldn't cope with life and things were painful, and I was just realizing bit by bit the death of these these dreams of normalcy, whatever that means, like trying to have a normative life and giving up on things that I really loved, you know, like I'm getting back into producing electronic music. I started that when I was in maybe late junior high, early high school, you know, and then a lot of things I was shamed and ridiculed and stuff. And then I thought, oh, I got to be serious, real adult. So I gave up on a lot of things, or just focused on, you know, working and that taking all my energy, and that's all it took to survive. And then, yeah, so 20s was brutal, wild, tumultuous time. And I was really kind of hating myself by the end of it and not taking care of myself. So I was just a mess. And so getting into my 30s, I was sort of in a career job. I was still like, again, like, oh, maybe I am working towards this thing that I thought I could have again before. Because because I had stopped using drugs on a regular basis. I was in treatment and stuff. So that kind of gave me this renewed hope. But I still hadn't had these big revelations and diagnoses. And then the huge horrible thing happened that just wrecked our family. And, you know, our family's healed a bit now, but it's never been the same. But my youngest brother, Danny, died when I was in my early 30s. And, you know, we were both using drugs, and he died in a way that was like, it was so horrible. But the same thing could have happened to me as well, right? And my mom would have lost 2 out of the 3 kids. And, but anyways, you know, I've always felt bad because I was the oldest, and, you know, this is the worst thing that ever happened to our family. And then I felt lucky that I had survived, but it really was kind of through just like luck and timing, I felt like. And I think that really just snapped me into wanting to take care of myself. I didn't really realize it exactly at the time, but it seemed to be a catalyst to finding stuff out, because I'll make longer videos about each of these things, but this is going to be very rapid fire, you know, but like things got worse for me in terms of substance and mental health after he died, but it took a little while. But then it's much more complicated than this. But, you know, I realized I was transgender and had then kind of saw the signs of over my whole life, and that all clicked. So I was working on that, and that's the best thing I've ever done for my mental health in terms of depression. Like I got on hormone treatments, I had surgeries. You know, my whole 30s is probably, like, people don't realize being transgender, you know, having all these diagnoses later for autism and ADHD, PTSD and everything, that all happened later in my 30s. It's like the enormous, absolutely monumental amount of paperwork, you know, and I have all these executive functioning issues and everything. And I, you know, follow some instructions too seriously, and that gets me in trouble, or some things I just can't do. And so I feel like over my 30s, probably 6 years of that decade have been doing almost constant paperwork, or just self-advocacy and trying to find people that can help me and that kind of thing. And that's been extremely, extremely stressful and exhausting. But for the most part, it's worked out. It's given me some, like, couple major realizations in terms of, like, the people that just refuse to help me, even though they're supposed to. And then there's not as many people, but the people that actually believe in me and trust me and want to help. And unfortunately, those are much fewer and far between, like the really empathetic people. And kind of one of the things I've learned, that if you're younger and neurodivergent, I'd highly suggest looking for supports in people that are also neurodivergent. Like, it doesn't have to be that everybody is that way, but one of the best things I've ever done, even though I've had good counselors in the past who've really helped me, but now, like, having a counselor who's neurodivergent and an occupational therapist that's neurodivergent has been absolutely huge. That's been one of the biggest things. So if you learn one thing, like, try to get people to support you who, it's just about not having to expend enormous amount of energies, just trying to explain yourself and have yourself be believed and empathized with. You know, that's just like a fundamental human thing, is just to be understood. And that's kind of been the battle of my life. And that's been a big realization too over this time that really helped, is like, you know, having this lifelong anxiety and very long periods of depression is you don't have to just accept that's the way it is. I don't believe that anymore. Like, you might be more susceptible to them, but I feel like there's always some kind of cause, you know, and not to say it always can be cured, but it's worth trying to find if there is a reason, like something causing the anxiety and the depression, and hopefully you can just get support that's empathetic and can help you through those things. So that was kind of through my 30s, is just an absolute literal blood, sweat, and tears grind, and honestly, like, almost completely giving up on life quite a few times, and so many times where I never even expected I would make it till 40. Like, I just couldn't project myself that far in the future. But I've made it, and so much of that was through like admitting that I needed help. Like, it took so long in my life to really ask for help. And then it's horrible to realize you need to, you know, to finally realize to ask for help, and then you learn to ask for help, and then you get rejected from so many people for no good reason, you know? So that's painful too. But if you can really just find those people that really actually empathize with you, that makes all the difference. I'm lucky. I've had people with my family have always stuck with me, because I don't know how to have made it through so many of these situations without the people supporting me. And yeah, and that's the major difference now. Like, I'm financially the poorest I've ever been in my adult life, and had my savings wiped out. But, you know, I'm having people helping me move. This is the big thing now, is just my 40th birthday, and because of terrible circumstances that are really unfair, but I can't really talk about right now, with my work situation, through no choice of my own or no fault of my own, I can't continue with work. And that's made me lose my place, and I have to change provinces. But I don't know, but I'm still hopeful somehow. It's like being poor, it's given me, like, financially, like, I'm financially poor, but I'm rich in just the best friends I've ever had. Like, that's the thing that I want to say about getting into my 40s. It's like the 30s is figuring myself out and what I need and what I want, and how to set boundaries, and what's actually a healthy friendship and what's not. So now that I've actually establishing those things, I have the healthiest friendships I've ever had. And so even though I'm broke and don't have a job, I've been able to rediscover my hobbies, have good friendships. So I'm like, feel rich in creativity, which is soul fulfilling, and rich in friendship, and I think what I want to work on in the future is reconnecting to spirituality more again and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to my 40s. I missed this like 20 years of getting sidelined just by, again, quote unquote, trying to be whatever people think normal is and going full circle, and now rediscovering all the things I've already loved, like music production and painting and that kind of thing, and discovering in my 30s that my ability to be a helper of people. I worked in harm reduction and my strengths in there. So yeah, now it's just going to be going forward and trying to find the best way to combine all those things. But I think it's going to be fun, and I'm just barely started being 40 now, and even though I'm broke, I get to go on my dream trip of a lifetime. So that's very grateful, and that's showing my privilege that some people don't have, that if I'm having a really rough time, there's people who'll support me and help me to have something that will give me some hope and let me have some fun when I've had really painful times. And yeah, and I want to make another video. You'll see all about that. I don't want to talk about it yet, but it's so exciting. And yeah, it's coming up soon, so that to look forward to. And then just the rest of my 40s to work towards moving my life towards the things that are fun that I want to do, and incorporating them with that thing that's satisfies your soul of like being able to help people and have community and that kind of thing. That's what I'm hoping for, to combine all those things together. And I went way over time, but thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of more free form. I need to talk about some time of just why I talk fast if I'm not planning a video, because I have all my thoughts and they're just like, I visualize them as these vaporous clouds or something, and there's connections. And if I don't talk really fast, I lose all the connections. So let me know if you comments if you relate to that too. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch if you did. I really appreciate it. I'll be taking a little of a break while I move. It's big, tough times, especially if you're autistic. Like, moving is brutal, so I'm anxious about it, but excited. So I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to be packing my camera away now, and then I'll be making more videos, probably more scripted ones, and maybe I'll try a few more of these if people like them when I'm back. Okay, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.